Hello everyone and welcome to Jaglit Educational Channel. So this is the part 2 of Unit 1 for UGC NET Environmental Science syllabus, and we are studying the syllabus wise preparation for NET Environmental Science. So those who haven't checked the first video, you can check the link given in the description below. So let's start today's video. सो आज हम पढ़ने वाले हैं बायो जियो केमिकल साइकिल के बारे में. सो यस, इट इज़ वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट पार्ट एंड द टर्म बायो जियो केमिकल इज हैविंग थ्री कंपोनेंट्स. यस, बायो जियो केमिकल टेल्स दैट बायोलॉजिकल, जियोलॉजिकल दैट इज रिलेटेड टू अर्थ, and chemical factors are involved in particular cycle. So cycle means there is a cyclic involvement of these three sphere, that is biosphere, lithosphere, atmosphere and hydrosphere. These are the things in which the chemical substances, mostly the elements present in the atmosphere, are recycled back in some or other manner in a cyclic way. So this is the biogeochemical cycle basics, and there is a series of change in the properties of these elements when they come back to their original starting point. So this is very easy to know, and you would have learned the water cycle since your school days. So it is very easy, and we will learn one by one what are the different types of biogeochemical cycle. So majorly there are three categories of biogeochemical cycle. These are hydrological or water cycle, gaseous cycle and sedimentary cycle. So mostly we will see gaseous cycle and sedimentary cycle because hydrological or water cycle is the simplest one, which you all know: evaporation, condensation, precipitation. But this is the important link in between these two cycles. Yes, gaseous cycle and sedimentary cycle cannot be complete with the help of hydrological cycle और वाटर साइकिल. बिकॉज फॉर एग्जाम्पल वाटर साइकिल में हम जानते हैं कि जब रेन होता है तो उसके अंदर बहुत से एसिड भी पाए जाते हैं. फॉर एग्जाम्पल इन द केस ऑफ एसिड रेन, H2SO4, HNO3. सो इन दैट केस सल्फर इज फॉर्म्ड एंड नाइट्रोजन इज ऑल्सो इन्वॉल्व्ड. So in some or other way the water cycle is the connection between these two cycles. So we'll know what are the gaseous cycle and what are sedimentary cycle. So gaseous cycle क्यों कहते हैं? Gaseous cycles are for example the cycle for carbon, oxygen, hydrogen and nitrogen cycle are mostly the gaseous cycle. And the sedimentary cycle mostly includes the phosphorus cycle, but we can say sulfur and calcium cycle are also under this sedimentary cycle. So mostly we will go for phosphorus if in the question it is asking about the sedimentary cycle, but sulfur is also one of the component of sedimentary cycle. Next is why they are named as gaseous and sedimentary cycle. Yes, that's the important thing. The cycle in which the reservoir is in the atmosphere or hydrosphere are termed as gaseous cycle. So reservoir मतलब जहाँ पे reserve होके रहते हैं, where their concentration is more. Whose concentration? The elements concentration. Like oxygen, hydrogen, they are found mostly in atmosphere. That's why they are called as gaseous cycle. And in cycle where their concentration, that is their reservoir, is in the earth's crust, that means they are geological type, they are sedimentary type. That's why they are called as sedimentary cycle. For example phosphorus. So उसका main reservoir जो होता है, main reserves for phosphorus, calcium and sulfur are found in the earth crust. That's why they are called as sedimentary cycle. So I hope you are clear till now. Their reservoir depict their name as gaseous or sedimentary cycle. So we will start discussing about the first important gaseous cycle, that is carbon cycle. So carbon is present everywhere, and we will say how it is cycling throughout the atmosphere, hydrosphere and other spheres of environment. So first of all, you should know that it is basic that carbon dioxide is released into the atmosphere by respiration of producers and consumers. So producer means these plants and consumers means these animals, and when we respire, we release carbon dioxide in the atmosphere. And also the burning of wood and fossil fuels from the industries and cars, they release carbon dioxide in the atmosphere. So carbon dioxide means here carbon is present, so that is why we are reading this carbon cycle. Next is it is also released, which is the carbon is also released by decomposition of organic waste and dead bodies by the decomposer by the action of bacteria and fungi of decay. So when these animals, plants and everything they die, they are buried under the soil, you can see. So when these are decomposed by the action of bacteria and fungi, they also release carbon dioxide. So their respiration also releases by the decomposition of dead organic matter. Next is volcanic eruption. For example, let us assume this is the volcano. When this volcano erupts, it also releases the hot spring of carbon dioxide. So majorly carbon is released in the form of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere. Next comes the weathering of carbonate. So these are released, and what happens is when they are coming back to the atmosphere with the help of H2CO3, you can say the carbonate ion present in the rainwater, it can come, and it can also taken by the plants in the form of photosynthesis. So photosynthesis में important part play करता है carbon dioxide. So they are again returning back to the atmosphere in the living system with the help of this producer. So plants take this carbon dioxide. Then what they will do after that, these are also found in the weathering of carbonate containing rocks by the action of acids excreted by microorganisms. So let us assume these are the rocks here. So when these rocks are weathered, that means with the action of acid, where it is acid coming, acid can come from the acid rain, or it can also come from the excreta of microorganisms. So as a result, these rocks which are containing the carbonaceous material, the carbonate rock, they are then solubilized, then they pass into the water bodies, and eventually they return into the atmosphere. So this is the cyclic way. It's a very easy cycle, and you should know that the carbon is released from the industries, from the fossil fuel burning and wood, and also from the respiration of plants and animal both. Then it is coming back in the form of the photosynthesis by the plants, then it is dissolved in the water, because in water also photosynthesis takes place by the green plants and the phytoplanktons, and then it is released with the help of volcanoes and other weathering process. So in this way the carbon is cycled in our atmosphere. So we'll see what are the important points which we have discussed in the carbon cycle. So the carbon dioxide is released with the help of the respiration by producers and consumer, burning of wood and fossil fuel also released, then also decomposition of waste organic matter and dead bodies by the fungi and the bacteria releases carbon dioxide, volcanic eruption also releases carbon dioxide, weathering of rocks by the acids excreta by microorganism or acid rain also solubilizes this carbonate, and then it is the photosynthesis part which again takes back the carbon dioxide from the atmosphere. So the next thing which we are going to learn today will be the oxygen cycle. Yes, first of all, where from this oxygen comes from? Have you ever imagined? So this oxygen comes from the photosynthesis process. So in the last part in the carbon cycle, we have discussed that photosynthesis process uses the carbon dioxide present in the atmosphere. So in this process the release of oxygen is seen. So the final product of the photosynthesis is giving rise to oxygen. So the plants in the land and the phytoplanktons present in the ocean, they do this photosynthesis process, and as a result oxygen is released in the atmosphere. So one more thing is also important, where the oxygen is released, it is made in the atmosphere when the sunlight breaks down the water. So the moisture present in the atmosphere and the water vapor which are present in our atmosphere are broken down with the help of sunlight. So mostly UV light. So H2O, that formula we know for the water, is broken by the sunlight. As a result, this oxygen is released in the atmosphere. So these two things are the main contributor for the formation of oxygen in our atmosphere. So we have learned how oxygen is formed. Next is how oxygen is consumed. So oxygen का use किस तरह होता है? So oxygen is formed in the atmosphere. Now what happens is this oxygen is taken up by the animals, plants, bacteria, and as well as the decomposition organism. Those who are performing the aerobic decomposition, they are even using this oxygen for their respiration purpose. That means even the rusting of metal is the oxidation process. Fire, so need of fire, that means we need fuel to burn a fire, and oxygen also plays an important role. If oxygen is not present anywhere, we will not be able to bring the fire out. So in fire process also oxygen is consumed. Next is phytoplanktons. So as we know, phytoplanktons are releasing the oxygen when they are doing the photosynthesis. And when these phytoplanktons and other organisms present in the ocean and water bodies, they do respiration process, they need this oxygen. So this is very simple. Oxygen is taken up in the respiration form and released in the process which is majorly photosynthesis. Next is most of the oxygen is also stored in the earth oxide minerals. So in earth crust and mantle, they are formed in the oxide form, but it is bound to rocks. So they are trapped in rocks. That's why they are unavailable for use. So the organisms present in the lithosphere, they can't use this kind of oxygen, that is oxide of oxygen, present in the crust and mantle of earth. So these are some of the basics of the oxygen cycle, and you should note it down that oxygen, hydrogen and carbon, these three things are interconnected, these three cycle, because for example if you are talking about carbon cycle, then carbon dioxide is coming and in which the oxygen is also involved. If you are talking about the water cycle, as I have told earlier, then H2O is there, so oxygen is also coming there. So these three things, carbon, hydrogen and oxygen cycle, they are interlinked among themselves. So you should know water cycle is the link between the gaseous and sedimentary cycle. So similarly, these three cycles are interconnected among them. So the first sedimentary cycle which we are going to study today विल बी द फॉस्फरस साइकिल. ये जी हाँ बहुत ही इंपॉर्टेंट है, क्योंकि जब भी सेडिमेंट्री साइकिल का पूछा जाता है तो आप लोग फॉस्फरस में ही क्लिक करके आते हैं आंसर. सो द थिंग इज हाउ इट स्टार्ट. सो फॉस्फरस आता कहाँ से है? सो मेनली फॉस्फरस इज प्रेजेंट इन द रॉक्स. दैट मीन्स रॉक्स में फॉस्फेट फॉर्म में वो मौजूद है हमारे इन्वायरमेंट में, हमारे जो रॉक्स में. सो व्हाट हैपेंस इज व्हेन द रेन happens and then wind also, these two factors they weather this phosphate from rocks. So rocks में जो phosphate form में रहता है phosphorus, उसको वो weather कर देते हैं, उसको break down कर देते हैं and as a result they are going inside the water bodies and also inside the soil. तो जब soil में जाते हैं तो soil जो रूट्स के थ्रू प्लांट्स उसको ले लेते हैं एंड एसिमुलेट कर लेते हैं अपनी बॉडी के अंदर. सो इन दिस वे प्लांट गेट्स द फॉस्फरस एंड व्हाट हैपेंस इज व्हेन दीज एनिमल्स प्राइमरी consumers and then decomposers eventually they take these plants, then they are also filled with phosphorus. So क्या होता है, प्लांट से एनिमल को आता है, then एनिमल और प्लांट जब मर जाते हैं, जब उनका डिके होता है, तब वो डिकम्पोजर्स उसको डिकम्पोज करके अगेन फॉस्फेट फॉर्म में उसको सॉइल में रिलीज कर देते हैं. सो इस तरह क्या होता है कि एक और तरीके से यहाँ पे वाटर में और सॉइल में चला जाता है फॉस्फरस फ्रॉम प्लांट्स एंड एनिमल्स. The next thing is geological uplifting. So you should note it down. Geological uplifting means when these rocks containing the phosphorus, they are forming the mountains and certain hills, then they are uplifted due to the earthquake and other geological phenomena, then they are filled with phosphorus content. So this is called as geological uplifting, and then they are also weathering with the help of rain and wind. So again they are settled in the ocean. तो जब ओशन में फॉस्फेट सोल्यूशन होता है केमिकल प्रेसिपिटेशन के द्वारा, तो वहाँ पे क्या होता है, वो डिपॉजिट हो जाता है. दैट मीन्स इट इज कॉल्ड एज सेडिमेंटेशन. तो लेयर बाय लेयर यहाँ पे फॉस्फरस जो है डिपॉजिट होके फॉस्फेट वहाँ पे क्या करता है, गुआनो फॉर्मेशन करता है. सो व्हाट इज दिस गुआनो? गुआनो मीन्स द डिपोजिशन ऑफ द fecal excreta of birds that are mainly seabirds and other organisms to form a solid part such as guano. So उसे guano कहते हैं, जो कि excreta होता है mostly birds and animals का, जो कि ocean में होता है. So this is also important, guano, and you should remember this is very easy as the weathering of rock releases phosphate, and again due to the decomposition and weathering it is going back into the soil and eventually it is the cycle which is sedimentary cycle. So as you have seen, it is not even going into the atmosphere, so it is not taking part in atmosphere. That's why it is not the gaseous cycle, it is sedimentary cycle. So I hope you have understood. If you have any doubt, you can ask me in the comment section. So now we will study about the sulfur cycle. Yes, the sulfur cycle is mostly sedimentary except two of its state, that is hydrogen sulfide and sulfur dioxide. So we'll know one by one. So what happens is the sulfur hydrogen sulfide is released into the atmosphere by the volcanic eruption. So you can see here hydrogen sulfide is released from the volcanic eruption, hot springs and the anaerobic decay of sulfur containing biological material in swamps, bogs and tidal flats. So those who are doing anaerobic respiration. So you can see here where they are doing anaerobic respiration, hydrogen sulfide is released in the atmosphere and here it is seen in the lithosphere region. Next is we will know that certain marine algae produce dimethyl sulfide. So in the ocean also certain marine algae they produce dimethyl sulfide, that is a volatile compound that enters the atmosphere as tiny droplets form. So what happens is when this is released and then sulfur dioxide gas is also released in the atmosphere by the volcanoes, So you can see first it was releasing hydrogen sulfide, then we came to know that sulfur dioxide is also released from the volcanoes and from the atmosphere, which we are using the fossil fuel burning, the burning of the plants that are using industrial fuels. These all also release sulfur dioxide. So as a result, what happens is when this dimethyl sulfide, that is here, is reacting with the oxygen gas, then it forms the sulfur dioxide. So this is the reaction you should remember. Then what happens is sulfur dioxide reacts with the atmospheric oxygen to form the sulfur trioxide. So trioxide means 3 oxygen will be there. Then what happens is in the next step we will see that some sulfur trioxide reacts with the water trini droplet. So this is hazy, but I'm telling you it is water. So this droplet, when reacting with the sulfur trioxide and water, they form the sulfuric acid. So sulfuric acid means you should connect with the acid rain. So when the acid rains happens with the form of fog or precipitation, it forms and it falls on the ground. So when it falls, what happens is it is called as acid deposition. So in this process what happens is they are formed as sulfate salts. So when they are reaching the ground, they are formed as sulfate salts, and these sulfate salts are taken up by the plants. So what happens, these plants take these sulfate salts, and then what happens, from the plants it eventually moves to the higher trophic level, that is to the animals. And again when these plants and animals they die, so this is the basic thing and which is common in almost every biogeochemical cycle. When the plant and animals die, the decaying matter again releases the hydrogen sulfide. So as a result what happens is hydrogen sulfide again reaches the ground, and similarly when these are washed away by the water, wind, so again they reach their origin, that is ocean, volcano and everything, and again they move up to the atmosphere. So this is the cyclic process in which the sulfur is cycled in our atmosphere, hydrosphere and lithosphere, but mostly it is concentrated in the lithosphere, so that's why we will consider it as the sedimentary cycle. Now we will know about one of the important sedimentary cycle, that is calcium cycle. So calcium we all know, which is very important part in our body, as well as we used to see and listen many times that calcium is present in milk. So leaving those things apart, we will know that calcium is mostly present in the rocks. So it can be the rocks present inside the ocean, or the rocks which are present on the lithosphere, that can be mountains and all. So they are mostly composed of calcium carbonate. So in this form the calcium is present in the rocks. What happens is when there is rainfall, that you can see blue color is showing the rainfall, and wind. So these two factors, what they do weathering. That means they break these rocks slowly, and eventually the calcium is released in the inorganic form from these rocks. So what happens, the inorganic form of calcium, it reaches soil, as well as it will reach the water. So water means, such as for example we see water bodies means ocean, then there what will happen, this calcium will be used by the corals to make their shells. Fishes will also consume this calcium to make their calcareous body, as well as the shells of certain marine organisms. So in this way calcium is used in water. Similarly, when this calcium reaches the soil, this calcium coming from the rocks now is going to the rocks. So this is going to the soil, and in soil what happens is it can also come from the human impact. So it is the natural process, the rain weathering, but humans also, they are incorporating the fertilizers and the organic manure. So in this way, for example, calcium phosphate is used for the farming. So in this way also calcium reaches soil. What happens is from soil it goes into the plants. So plants, ये जो calcium मौजूद होता है soil में, उसे वो ले लेते हैं and they assimilate. So वो उनके अंदर absorb कर लेते हैं, and what happens is plants means they will transfer this to the consumer. So primary consumer, secondary consumer, that are animals, they take this calcium from the plants. So what happens is this calcium is used to make the bone and teeth, and similarly when these animals and plants they die, they decay by the microorganisms. So they are decayed by the microorganisms. What happens is in this case they are then formed in the organic form. So अब कैल्शियम का ऑर्गेनिक फॉर्म देखने को मिलता है, क्योंकि कार्बन हाइड्रोजन मिलके कैल्शियम के साथ कंपाउंड जो फॉर्म किया रहता है एनिमल्स एंड प्लांट्स बॉडी में, those are now coming into the soil. So what happens is after that this organic calcium is converted by the bacteria present in the soil into inorganic form. So inorganic form को जो conversion होता है उसे कहते हैं mineralization. You should remember this process from organic to inorganic form. This is called as mineralization. Then what happens is these forms are carried away by the soil, water and wind. So what happens is जब ये inorganic calcium अगेन डिपोजिट होता रहता है स्लोली, जब इनका कंसेंट्रेशन, उनका अमाउंट बढ़ जाता है तो अगेन वो रॉक्स को एक बिल्डअप दे देता है, यानी रॉक्स फॉर्मेशन फिर से हो जाता है. किसका रॉक? कैल्शियम का रॉक्स. सो दिस इज नोन एज सेडिमेंटेशन प्रोसेस. सो स्लोली सेडिमेंट्स जब डिस्पोज हो जाता है एंड अगेन वो डिपोजिट हो जाता है तो वो रॉक्स को फॉर्म करता है, दैट आर कैल्केरियस रॉक्स, कैल्शियम कार्बोनेट मेनली. सो इन दिस वे अगेन वो साइकिल कंटिन्यू करता है और इस तरह हमारा कैल्शियम साइकिल कंप्लीट होता है. सो वी हैव लर्न द इम्पॉर्टेंट बायोजियोकेमिकल साइकिल्स and you must be thinking that why we are not studying about nitrogen cycle. So I have intentionally not included the nitrogen cycle in this video because it is very important, and I will make a separate video on the nitrogen cycle, so that will be very useful for you. Stay tuned for that video. So in the first part of this series we had discussed about the EEAT scheme, and I would like to say that there is a mistake here, that it was not launched during the 16th 5-year plan, it was launched during 6th 5-year plan. So edit in your notes if you have written down, so it will be 6th 5-year plan when this EEAT scheme was launched. So आज के लिए बस इतना ही. Stay tuned for further updates, and if you like this video don't forget to give a thumbs up, share it with your friends, and don't forget to subscribe the channel to get further updates.